we froze for a little bit. Okay, I think we're good. Okay, well, good afternoon, everyone. We are keeping you prepared. Phil's here with me. Marshall will be coming in very shortly.
Is it still frozen?
Is it still frozen? Can y'all hear me? Is this all working well? I wonder, because I saw there's another live stream going on at the same time. Let me make sure. I don't
check
know.
back in, just make sure it's not my phone.
Just making sure where everyone can hear me, everyone can see me. Because it looks like there's 2 live streams up.
On Facebook?
There is, yeah, there's 2.
Oh.
So everyone's on the other one.
Oh. Oh, wait. That's better.
Because there's one on YouTube, but it looks like the YouTube one is also streaming on Facebook, too. But either way,
Okay,
we can hear you okay. I'm going to go on the other one. I'll have to go back and forth because it looks like there's 2 live streams going on our station page. Okay, so they're going to turn one of them off. Let me make sure they put... So if you're watching the one that says Sarah has the latest on severe weather that is approaching in central Ohio, switch over to the other one that says tune in as meteorologist Sarah Converse and Phil Kelly track out the storms this afternoon. And we can answer any questions that you have. So I'm glad everyone can hear me well. I see a couple people are in right now. Paul, Kathy, Cheyenne, Brianna's in. So hello, good afternoon. So we're keeping a close eye on radar this afternoon. We are watching a cluster of thunderstorms out west. And these have been producing very gusty winds up to 70 miles per hour. So these are going to be heading into some of our southern counties you can see here on this projected course. So parts of southern Madison County and Fayette County right now in the line of some of the strongest storms. So you can see the storms themselves are starting to move into those polygons. So I'm going to turn off the sweeping radar really briefly so you can see where this warning polygon is located. So these storms, these severe thunderstorm warnings are going to last until one of them, the one on the further one, which is for Butler, Montgomery, and Warren County, that's until 1:45 p.m. That one is capable of producing quarter-size hailstones and also wind gusts up to 70 miles per hour. The one down near Hamilton and Cincinnati, that's until 2 p.m. this afternoon. That is just your standard severe thunderstorm warning, which would be 60 mile per hour winds and also hailstones up to quarter size. So the one up top is capable of producing 70 mile per hour wind gusts, which is why the National Weather Service has labeled it considerable damage. So whenever winds get that high, they do make these little notes on those severe thunderstorm warnings to let people know and to let us know as we're communicating these warnings to you that these storms have a history and are capable of producing wind gusts up to 70 miles per hour. 60 miles per hour can still cause quite a bit of damage. If you watch the noon show, we've been talking about, especially in my noon hit, of ways you can protect your home, making sure if you haven't done it already, since it was kind of nice out earlier today, so don't let that fool you. Making sure your patio is secured. Any loose objects in your yard, you want to make sure that that is tucked away. Let me track out this warning for you. Again, these storms are, to our west at the moment. Nothing here in Columbus. We've been dealing with breaks and the clouds here and there, but the clouds have thickened up a little bit. But it's still very warm. If you go outside, it's a little humid too. Mm-hmm. Oh, Marshall's in.
Oh, she warm out there.
Oh, it's juicy. It's juicy out there. So we're doing a live stream. We're on YouTube and on Facebook. Just kind of giving people an update on what's going on.
Excellent.
So these storms are moving to the east at about 55. I don't see us crawling.
No. Let me go take
it. Okay. I had to switch us over to the max alert because we weren't on it before. We were on Prism, so I switched us back so we can see it.
Okay, we'll talk.
Yeah. Cool. Mm-hmm. Okay, so these are all moving to the east, as I mentioned, at 55 miles per hour. So on that projected course, let me edit this. 55. Let's get the worst of it. with at least the stronger winds. Push that off to the east. So here we go. So we have getting closer into the viewing area. So Springfield, just before 2, Wilmington 2:14, London 2:20, Washington Courthouse 2:33, and then Grove City. So just slightly before 3 p.m. for you. So 2:41 in Grove City is where these storms are going to be racing through the area. So we do have that severe thunderstorm watch that just was issued just right around like 12:30ish.
Yeah,
Just before 12:30, and that is for, again, our biggest concern for these storms is going to be those winds, where wind speeds could clock over 60 miles per hour or greater. And then large hailstones. In the watch that the National Weather Service put in, they were talking even up to ping pong size hailstones.
Yeah, so far, thankfully, there's only been minor hail with these storms coming out of Indiana. But we were just talking about how soupy it is, how you feel humidity. It's coming into to an atmosphere that's going to be ripe to making these things a little stronger as we go through the afternoon.
That's right. So I'm going to show you, we're going to quickly go over the severe thunderstorm watch. So if you're in the pink, so that includes everyone from the eastern part of the viewing area to our western viewing area.
Yeah,
so from
you squeeze in there. We don't have to both put our head in
no,
here.
you're
you
good.
know I'm here if you need me.
Yeah, so like London, Columbus, all the way up into over into Cambridge, you're in that severe thunderstorm watch until 7 p.m. Now, as these storms kind of move through, we're keeping a close eye on a potential second batch behind it. We'll have to keep a very close eye on that. We're hopeful that these first round of storms can help eat up some of that energy, and so that we don't see any storms igniting and holding on as we get into the evening hours.
Well, the good thing is that it does look like that's what it's doing, because these were racing through Indianapolis, about 2 hours ago. Yeah. And now they're clear of Indianapolis, and nothing is to the west of Indy until you get all the way to St. Louis.
Yeah, so we're going to have to keep a close eye on that. So this is all due to this front moving through. So across most of Ohio, we are in that enhanced risk for severe weather. That's that level 3 out of 5. So we're looking at scattered to numerous thunderstorms possible. And as we mentioned, it's very soupy outside. We have these strong southerly winds, those winds from the southwest at 15 miles per hour. That's what's allowing for a lot of that warm Gulf air to settle into the region. It's currently 79 degrees outside. We actually have a heat index, so it feels like 81. And then that dew point is a great measurement of how muggy it is outside. So the higher the dew point, the more soupy it is outside. The lower the dew point, the drier it is. So whenever we get above 57-ish for the dew point for degrees, that's when we start getting into that humid, soupy stage. Especially when we get into the 70s during the summertime, you feel it. But usually anything under like 55 is fairly comfortable. So that's what's giving a lot of fuel to these storms that are going to be racing through the area. So as I mentioned, we're looking at a time frame of these storms out to our west to get into parts of London, Washington Courthouse here in just under about an hour or so. I was looking at around that 2:15, 2:30 time frame, and I'll track it out again for you. And then heading into Grove City just before 2:45. So pretty much central Ohio, we are gustier winds. Again, those are all moving off to the east at 55 miles per hour. Let me put it over here. So again, Springfield, again, right around just after 2. Washington Courthouse, 2:24. West Jefferson, 2:33. Columbus, again, just slightly before 3. 2:50 for you in Columbus. Gahanna, it'll look just before 3 p.m. for you, so 2:57. At least in terms of where some of those strongest winds are going to be.
Yeah, I'm sitting here thinking, and I know a lot of people who are probably watching are either going to be at work or they're at home thinking of doing school pickup. Because I was just thinking, I'm picking up my son at school at 3 o'clock. That's when these stronger storms are going to be right over Franklin County. So unfortunately, that's the timing right now. If you're, inside of 270, when we're expecting to at least see the initial line of that working its way through.
So the other concerns that we have, if again you're going to be having to pick up your kids from school, right? Is going to be the heavy downpour that you're going to be expected within this line, possibly some hail embedded in this line. Right now, the warnings are saying up to quarter-size hailstones, frequent lightning, and again, those wind gusts are definitely going to be the biggest concern, especially where I have this part of the storm tracking out for you. This is where the National Weather Service has wind speeds up to 70 miles per hour. So they've labeled that as considerable.
Right.
Yep, that's fair.
Okay, I'm logging out of this here.
Behind the scenes. So, little behind the scenes talk real quick.
Marshall's here.
Master Control is prepared.
Okay.
They are on board. We're crawling every 15 minutes.
Perfect.
We're doing cut-ins on ABC6 at 4 and 4:30.
Okay.
And depending on what's out there, what's in Dayton right now, depending on how that tracks in, we might do a cut-in as that gets in.
I was going to say, because that looks like it's going to get here about 3 right now.
Yeah. So we may do a little, a brief cut-in just for that.
Mm-hmm. So.
All right. How are you? How you doing?
I'm going to steal all of your things.
Yep, that's right. Logged out of everything.
I see some people are in and asking. Hopefully I answered most about this. Becky, this is for Ohio. Becky, this is for Ohio. Becky, this is for Ohio.
She just probably is a big Sarah fan.
Who is
No.
it?
See? Right.
Chuck, for rainfall amounts, it's really going to be dependent on if you experience these storms. Again, these storms can drop an inch of rainfall. But if you don't experience these storms, you may get very little amounts of rain from some of, you can see.
Plus, they're racing.
They're
moving fast.
Yeah.
So even if they've got downpours, they're going to go through pretty quickly.
So like, let's say you're in Troy, you're probably not going to get as much as, let's say, Dayton's going to get. There we go. We're getting the severe thunderstorm warnings inching closer to our DMA. So Clark, Greene, Miami, Montgomery County now under the severe thunderstorm warning right around 2:30 for that. So again, everything after 2:30, as I mentioned just earlier ago, that's where it's going to start moving into our DMA. So places like Marysville, London, Washington Courthouse.
Explain DMA.
DMA?
Yeah. What is that?
Our market area. So these are the counties that
we
can
use
watch
a lot
us.
of jargon around here.
I'm so used to doing DMA. Also with National Weather Service, they call it CWA, which is their county warned area. So for most of us here in Central Ohio, we're under Wilmington. We have a couple counties to our north that are under Cleveland, places like Hardin County. And then we have a few that are Pittsburgh, like over in, let's see, what is that? Is it Coshocton?
Coshocton, Muskingum, Guernsey, Noble, Morgan.
And then Athens is under
Charleston.
So we're kind of spread apart across the
And we
across
keep
the
an eye
area.
on northern Indiana because that's usually what's coming our way.
Absolutely. And we do know there are some counties. I know there's people who have messaged me before that are in, let's say, up in Ashland, Richland County, or even in Vinton, that some people can, can get us.
I know we have viewers in Marietta.
Yes.
Time, and that's not in our DMA.
Yes.
Yeah, there's that word.
Designated market area.
There we go. We learned something today.
Learning something new today. So let me look at the new information here.
Thanks,
They did drop the considerable tag on this, and they've also dropped the hail size, which is good. So they've dropped it down to nickel size. So that's just under an inch in diameter. Wind gusts still up to 60 miles per hour. It is moving a little bit faster at 60 miles per hour. So let's put another tracker on this. If you're watching from London, Columbus, I know we had a couple people asking out of Circleville. In Columbus, I know we had a couple people asking. In Columbus, I know we had a couple people asking. In Columbus, Cindyville. I had the spinning wheel of death for a moment there. We got it up. Okay. Let me get a little bit closer to where those strong winds are and then drag it off to the east. Hopefully this will pick out some of those towns that people are asking. Again, I do not choose which towns show up on here, but I'll try to do my very best to kind of estimate with towns that do pick up that might be near you that people are asking about. So again, Wilmington 204. Here's Washington Courthouse for you. For Cindy, Washington Courthouse, you're looking at around 220, so closer to the 2:30 p.m. time frame. Dublin 2:30, Columbus again 2:30 since they're moving just slightly faster, but I would say anything from 2:30 to 2:45, be on the watch out for that. Columbus again 2:30, Circleville 2:45, and then Lancaster 3 p.m. for you if they continue to hold and produce those gusty winds. So that's our biggest concern for this afternoon is those wind gusts that could exceed 60 miles per hour. Even as you saw earlier, the storm as it was moving into Ohio was capable of producing 70 mile per hour wind gusts. So the winds are definitely our top threat for these storms, but also hail is a concern too. Hailstones up to 1/4 inch in diameter, even at the strongest point, they could even get up to the National Weather Service suggesting even ping pong size hailstones at the largest. But that winds are definitely likely our main threat. Hail, large hail possible. Have we gotten any reports? I know you're still trying to.
I'm
still trying to log
catching
in.
up on a
Yeah,
few things
let me.
first. I need to get stuff posted online.
No problem. You do that. Let me see if I can get into not the chat room, but at least.
You looking at Slack?
Yeah.
I'm almost there.
And I have Slack over my other computer, so if I need to walk over, I can walk over there and check and see if we've gotten
get
any.
Slack up. What do you need?
Just to see if we've had any reports of hail. Let's see, in Butler County, Oxford, there was a wind gust of 47 miles per hour reported there.
Indiana.
Okay, tree down in Indiana. Haven't seen anything else yet, just that wind gust. So, if you safely can, we always encourage if you're, even if you're inside and you're hearing it, you may be seeing it outside your window. If you, what's wrong?
So Wilmington. So all right. Here's
Okay.
one of the important things that our friends at the National Weather Service do. They put up a balloon twice a day, and that balloon has a radiosonde on it that takes measurements all the way up through the atmosphere. So it's a real-time look at the conditions in the atmosphere. So they just put one up. Looks like they went up about noon today, and what they've discovered is a cap.
Oh, so these things are gonna pretty much, fall apart.
So, well, unless they break through. So here there are two potential scenarios with that. So the cap literally is like a lid in the atmosphere. So as the storms run into it, it'll just cut them off at the pass, right? So those big, tall thunderstorms run into that, and it's like taking a knife to the top of them. It just cuts them right off. Except as they go under there and they get under that cap and they're under here, if something breaks through that cap, then you get what's called explosive convection. And it'll essentially tear the rest of that cap to pieces. But if that happens, we're looking at a really challenging afternoon.
Yeah.
So, two scenarios. One, it hits the cap and falls apart. Other scenario, it hits the cap, but then manages to break the cap and explode. It could go either way.
Yeah.
There's no way to know which one it's going to be.
Another interesting way I like to describe it, so you kind of visualize that, is with a soda, and you shake it up.
Diet Coke and Mentos.
Yeah, or if you, just shaking it
Yeah.
up, you get it starts bubbling up, right? It starts bubbling up. But if you keep the cap on, the soda eventually settles down,
Yeah.
right? So, but if you shake that soda bottle and you release the cap, guess what happens? Soda gets all over you. So, that's kind of how another way to kind of visualize that cap. So that's something that unfortunately we're going to have to definitely keep a close eye on. So again, these storms are racing through the area. So at least once these storms move in, they will be moving in pretty rapidly. But the problem is if they do end up getting that intensification, then again, we're looking at that large hail threat because now you're getting those strong updrafts to create that large hail. And then you have those wind gusts.
Wind on that.
Ooh, yeah. So that's something, especially with how this is set up, we're going to have to watch any kind of bowing that happens along this kind of weird looking, kind of line-ish band of storms that are moving through. And when we see kind of those bowing segments, that's usually indication that there are some strong winds in with that. So again, these storms are, right now we do have the severe thunderstorm warning that's just outside of London, Washington Courthouse, and Marysville. This is going to be until 2:30. So if you live in Madison County, you need to get ready for this as early as, here at 2. You'll start to see it's always best if you hear thunder, get inside. So I know it's 64 for the dew point.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's why it's muggy outside.
Mm-hmm. And then
that's like summer.
Yes.
Boy.
So I was just telling them how the dew point kind of gives us a good indication of how oh, what was that?
Somebody's curling iron fell off the fan.
How much moisture is in the air. So those higher the dew point, it just tells us how soupy it is, and I'm very uncomfortable it is outside.
Yeah.
Lower it is, the drier it is. So
muggy here.
Yes. Okay, so again, we do have this severe thunderstorm warning, as I mentioned, 2:30. Again, this is for Urbana, Springfield, Cedarville, just outside of a lot of where folks are watching from, like Marysville, London, Washington Courthouse. I know some people were asking about that. So let me put another tracker on this. These storms, again, let me double check. Again, they should be still moving at 60 miles per hour. Let's see, is the bottom one? Yep, still 60 miles per hour.
So here's the other catch to a storm moving 60 miles per hour. Let's say you're in your car and you're doing 60 miles an hour. If you hold your hand outside of the car, what do you feel? Your hand probably goes woof, right? Because you're creating your own 60 mile per hour wind. So the storm is doing the same thing. The storm is creating its own 60 mile per hour wind, but it also, what goes up must come down, it has an outflow. So the air goes up, but then it comes down again. And when it comes down again, it usually goes out through the front of the storm. So what you get then is 60 miles an hour plus however fast that outflow is. And that can be 20, 40, 60 miles an hour, which means all of a sudden you've got yourself an 80 or 120 mile per hour breeze coming out of the front of the storm. So that's where some of these can create some straight line wind damage, is just the outflow from the storm itself doing all that. Sorry, I'm still
No, keep interjecting.
I'm gonna build some stuff here
you're
to
good.
get this posted and then get that done.
Perfect. So again, at that rate of 60 miles per hour, I think it just moved a little bit more. So let me adjust that. So as I kind of mentioned again, I said just like right around 2 for London, you'll be watching for those storms rolling in, but right around like 2:14, no later than 2:15, these storms will be moving into London. Again, Washington Courthouse, 2:25, Dublin, 2:31, so around 2:30, a little after 2:30 for Columbus, and then Circleville looking at around 2:48. 2:48 for you. I'm going to keep that up just a little bit while, just so everyone can see that. Once, at least especially where we see some of these, from it, but once that gets out behind it, right now things look pretty quiet. But again, keeping a close eye. I know there's some more activity out over near St. Louis. Hopefully that should stay further south of us. I'm gonna look at that. Because here's the big picture for everyone else who's watching. Again, we do have that severe thunderstorm watch that's going to last until 7 p.m. tonight.
Let's do that.
So you still got a little bit some more time if you live in the eastern portion of the state. If you live, I saw a couple people in Perry County asking about this. You still got a little bit more time until those storms reach you. You're looking at a time frame of after 3 p.m. for you. Yeah, so Chillicothe for you. In Chillicothe, we're watching this band over near Hamilton and Cincinnati. This will be moving into your area. We're looking at a time frame of just near that.
There it is.
Around 3 p.m.-ish time frame. Yeah, so that's the other one.
Yeah. Let's look at...
Do they have any warnings down here? Is it just the over here?
Oh,
No.
well, that's because they had the rain.
Oh, yeah. So I'm going to try...
That's a pretty uniform air mass out there.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm going to try tracking this southern line, portion of the line. I'm going to go with...
Oh, there's your front.
Oh, yeah.
There it is.
is. Yeah.
So the front itself is still out by Chicago. Let's look at...
So I'm just going to go 60 miles per hour with this little segment right here and push it off to the east so we can get some of our southern viewers a kind of an estimate of the time frame here. This right here hasn't been warned. The very northern part of this line is in the warning, but down in Cincinnati is not warned.
So this is suggesting, the latest meso is suggesting the front is into Indiana.
Indiana. Okay.
So this temperature map is probably an hour or two behind.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
based off of that.
there's the...
Yeah, there it is.
The actual front is right at Indianapolis right now. But this... We're at 2,500.
Oh, that's yeah, that's plenty of
And
energy.
the Allies were -5 a little while ago. Let's see where we are. -5. Ugh.
Yeah.
As long as that cap holds.
Yeah. So let's see. Yeah, so Washington Courthouse again close to around 2:30, Hillsborough 2:33, Chillicothe we're just right around 3 as I mentioned. Waverly 3:15 and then 3:26 for Logan.
So one of the things that we're watching this afternoon is how unstable the air is. In other words, how much does it want to rise? So when the air becomes unstable, it wants to shoot straight up, and that's what gives us some of these big thunderstorms. So heat, humidity, there are a lot of factors that can go into how the air rises, but as counterintuitive as it may seem, water that has a lot of moisture in it is actually more unstable, more buoyant than dry air. And we can get into the whole molecular part of it, but the bottom line is it actually is more buoyant, so it wants to rise. So one of the indices that we use is called the lifted index. And it's a whole giant formula, but what it comes down to is if you have an LI, the more negative it is, the more the air wants to rise. I know that seems counterintuitive, but when you get to -1, you might get a few just isolated storms. -2, 3, they become a little more widespread, maybe a little bit stronger. By -4, -5, now you're looking at some really good storms because they've got a really good updraft at that point. By the time you get to -6, -7, batten down the hatches because here it comes, right? I've only seen it go to -12 once.
Whoa.
I've never seen it. And in fact, I saved the image because it was just so unbelievable.
Wow.
But bottom line is, we're at -5 in central Ohio. The rest of the state is at -4. So what that means is that we are very unstable out there. The air wants to rise, and it's not going to take much to give it a kick in the backside and watch it go flying straight up. So that's something to watch this afternoon.
Yeah.
It's part of what's driving these. I like this.
Yeah.
That's running into that cap.
Yep. So this is what he's mentioning because you didn't see where he was pointing at. So he's pointing at this. You can see it's kind of, it's falling apart here. It is producing quite a bit of lightning now. Let me see how much lightning it's producing. At least in this box. Will it tell me? 273 lightning strikes.
We have new lightning data with 8.4.
Really?
Yeah.
Ooh.
They've improved this.
Love that. Love when technology, we get improvements in the technology, but only when it works.
Yeah, right.
Only when it works. So here's the watch that was issued just before 12:30. So again, that severe thunderstorm watch is going to last until 7 p.m. tonight. This is when we're going to see our strongest storms of the day. It's going to be from now until 7 p.m. Again, we already can see those severe thunderstorm warnings. That's in that orange color. Those are those thunderstorms that are just outside of London and Washington Courthouse. So again, for Columbus, we're looking at these storms to move in another 30-ish minutes to no more than 40 minutes for us, because they are moving fast at 60 miles per hour.
Talk me out of a 30% for tomorrow.
I mean, when I was looking at it earlier, it was only overnight.
And mainly south.
Yes. So I think that's fine. I'm not opposed to putting 30% on Wednesday. Here's Futurecast. I mean, we have these storms moving in. There's
Right.
3. There's 5. I'm guessing this is when the front
That's
tries
the
to catch.
actual front.
Front comes in. The good news is Futurecast wants to keep things pretty quiet once the front moves in. So storms should be, as the front moves in, not as strong. So I know some people are asking if there's going to be a second wave of storms moving in. So that's good. We're hoping that these storms, as they move through, should eat up the energy. And of course the cap, if that cap is still there, that should keep things pretty quiet. But yeah, and then Wednesday's sun, and then there's overnight. So I think 30 is fine for Wednesday.
Or do we leave it at 20? Because
Okay.
your daylight hours
Yeah.
are dry. This is going to be late enough. All right, I'll keep the 20.
Okay.
I'll keep the 20. Let me.
Okay. I know I'm trying to get as many questions as I can. I've been kind of going back and forth watching the chat and then kind of going through these, tracking it out for you and whatnot. So I appreciate everyone's patience. I'm trying to get to everyone as soon as try to answer as many questions as I can. Again, if you do live east of Circleville, Columbus, you're looking at a time frame a little closer to 3 p.m. and onward for you for these storms. Again, this is all going to be dependent on if they go any faster than 60. Let's see. So that's Brown, Claremont, Clinton, and Warren. That's until 2:45. Hail size went down. Let's see. What's his speed on this? 55. So this portion of the line is 55. So this would be impacting Chillicothe and some of our southern counties. Let me put a tracker on this one here. So here's a couple more areas. I feel like I didn't really get much in the area. So it's got
Madison County.
starting to see. Well, see, here's a few that are in our area. So we have Washington Courthouse, 244, and then New Holland just before 3, and then 302 for Asheville. So that's getting in more into the eastern portion and into Fairfield County. But Chillicothe, you're again looking at a time frame closer to that 3 p.m. hour for you. And then let's see. We're getting into this polygon, so I'm very curious to see here in the next, I would say, 15 minutes, maybe 10-15 minutes, if they're gonna issue out one. And if they do issue out one, this would be, so heads up for you all, if they do expand this warning to the east, this would include potentially at the very northern portion of it northern or southern Union County, but definitely Madison County, Fayette County, and possibly if they want to push it further, would be Columbus. Columbus would be in this. So if you live in Obetz, I saw one person asked about Obetz, you're going to be in this. Let's see, Licking County, you still have until closer to around year 3, a little after 3 for the line to get to you. So you have still a little bit of time, at least under an hour until you need to start getting inside. Let's see. So here, right here is one thing that you see it's kind of bowing out. That's where we're looking at some of the stronger winds. Oh, are they going to issue it? No, I thought they're doing some clarification here. 230. Let me see, what did they change? 60. They probably just changed where the storm was located. So the storm's located over Springfield. Penny size hail, 60 mile per hour wind gusts. 230.
All right, I'm going to call this a few storms late. How about that?
That sounds right. I agree with that. Let me put this back to 60. Let me get the other part.
PM there before. We'll go ahead and just call it late and leave the pops low.
Yeah. So I'm gonna get this. Oop, that was not a good drawing of that. Okay, maybe go. I'm trying to get as not too tight, so I'm trying to get a little bit more towns and cities here. Around that 2:30 p.m. time frame for you. So for Muskingum County, you're looking at time frame well after 3 for you. But you already should be exceeding moisture, so that's why dew points are higher than they normally should be in those lower 60s. So you feel it. And temperatures, are we still in the upper 70s still? Have we cracked 80 yet? Yep, we're at 80.
Did we get there?
We're at 80 degrees. Heat index 82. Feels like 82 out. Winds out from the southwest 21. Again, that dew point at 64. You can see the camera like bouncing and shaking a bit. So strong winds. So again, there's the severe thunderstorm watch. We're waiting to see if they're going to expand that severe thunderstorm warning into, again, places. If you live in Madison County, if you live in Fayette County, even in a Columbus and Pickaway County, be alert that this storm continues to produce wind speeds up to 60 miles per hour or greater. You know, you're going to be expecting that severe thunderstorm warning to get into your county. So, and again, that county, if we're Franklin County, that does include from Lockbourne. I know someone asked about Lockbourne, Obetz, Grove City, Dublin, Hilliard. Okay, let me get back to radar, because that's right now what's most interesting part right now. Again, once these storms move out, so if we're here in Columbus, once these storms get out of the area, we'll still have some lingering rain behind it. So I would say once we get past 3 p.m., the brunt of those strong storms should be out of the area. And behind it, it's pretty quiet. We still have our cold front out to the west. So we're going to have to keep a close eye if that cold front could produce maybe a few more showers as it passes through. Otherwise, the brunt of a severe weather threat is right now that severe thunderstorm watch up until 7 p.m. So that's where we're expecting those stronger storms to occur. I'm starting to get some thunderstorms into Madison County here, so just south of London, near Midway. So I'd say they probably should be issuing out. That continues to be in the severe storm limits. Hail size at the moment for these warnings, even all the way down into Wilmington, have been under an inch in diameter, so
Technically not severe.
Technically not severe. Typically we get, because sometimes we've had warnings that have been issued. Oh, there we go. There it is. They just expanded that.
Okay.
So we have the severe thunderstorm warning now that it does include parts of Franklin, Madison, Pickaway, Union County, and also and then Delaware County. So this is going to be until 3 p.m. 3 p.m. for you all. Again, this is looking at wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour, and then hailstones, again, 3/4 of an inch in diameter, which, did it get the right one? No, there it is. No, it's the other one. There it is, yes, that would be penny size. So again, moving east 55, so it did drop a little early. The previous severe thunderstorm warning was 60, now it's 55, so let's put another tracker on this. Let me make it actually a little bigger. Actually, I didn't change the... edit that. Here we go. Here's some more areas. So we have, again, London 215. So you already have a little thunderstorm right near you, London, so you're probably hearing some rumbles of thunder already, but in terms of the severe storm itself, it's still a little bit... Still over in Springfield, so you still got about 10 more minutes until it gets to you. West Jeff 225, Grove City 235, Columbus 241, Westerville 248, Circleville right around 3, and then Granville looking at 310. 310 for you. Angel, you'll definitely have the rain will definitely be hard for you. You'll see that rain pick up quite a bit, and also there's still lots of lightning over near Springfield. So you're going to get definitely going to get at least the most strongest part of this line here. You are under that severe thunderstorm warning. Expect that to be here into your area in the next 10 minutes. And then
at 47 miles an hour.
Okay. Grove City, you're looking at Grove City. We had it here on the map, 1235.
Vandalia, just north of Dayton.
So Cindy,
68 mile per hour wind gust.
So Cindy, originally the track of the storm was moving about 60 miles per hour, and now it's dropped to 55. So that's why the time may have fluctuated a little bit when I did an updated track.
Stuff changes.
And that changes, yeah. So whenever we get wind speeds, when the storms start to increase or decrease, that can impact those times there. Again, these are estimates. These are estimate times that you expect these storms to move in. Christian and Shelly all in Grove City, looking at 235, right around 235. So be prepared by 2:30. Let's just say that. Be prepared by 2:30 for, those winds to really start picking up ahead of the storm, and then rumbles of thunder. If you're not going to hear it before then, but you're going to get the storm is going to start picking up. Let me see. Someone's asking if that was one of the threats there. But let me see. Right now, a lot of this looks... There's nothing suspicious right now that I can see on this line. Everything seems to be more winds. And there's been no tags on these storms. There's not been even... let's say what we call a history. If the storms in West and Indiana had any history or had shown any rotation. But we can check real quick and see what's going on here. We take off these polygons. Okay, let me just stop that. Not seeing anything that raises eyebrows, but definitely we do have some very strong winds associated. So those bright shades, you can see those bright shades there, those are indication of some very strong winds and potentially some outflows. But I don't see anything really that raises eyebrows in terms of any rotation. But that is one of the threats there. But our biggest concern with these storms is primarily winds.
So the Springfield Airport just reported a 56 mile per hour wind gust.
Okay. Let's see, anywhere else? Lisa says it's windy here in Hilliard. Yep. Wind speeds, and we've been hearing some of the winds coming off of our studio. Elizabeth, yeah, no worries. No, you're good. This is what this live stream's for, and I've been trying to go back and forth between the comments. So the biggest thing right now, what seems to be the greatest concern within this line here as it moves into here London in the next few minutes is going to be the winds. They've had wind speeds up to wind gusts, as you heard Marshall saying. We've had a winds report in Springfield of 56. So pushing up to 60 mile per hour wind gusts are possible within this line. They before had 70 mile per hour wind gusts when they were in Indiana. So these winds are going to be our biggest threat. Also, hail. The hail size is under an inch, which would be penny size hailstones, 3/4 of an inch in diameter. That still can cause some small dents on your car, so making sure your cars are ready in the garage.
Before all this comes through.
Yes. Unless you want to add character to your car and have dents on it. And that could be a story. I guess that's what I call it if I had it on my car. If y'all remember the last time I came in on a weekend. Yes, you can tell people a story about it, I guess. But those are their biggest things. And then the tornado threat is there. We're not going to bypass that chance that there could be rotation. But winds right now seem to be our main concern at the moment. But again, we'll keep an eye on these storms and making sure that they behave themselves in terms of not trying to show any rotation. But winds definitely are our biggest concern within this line. So. Trying to see. I think I answered most. So in Delaware. So Delaware is under the severe thunderstorm warning. That is until 3:30. Let me see if I can get at least the northern portion of this line for you. You're looking closer to that 3 p.m. time frame as well for Columbus. At least in downtown Columbus, close to that 3 p.m. time frame. Let's see if I can get it to include that. No, it does not want to include Delaware. Again, I wish I could pick out on this line. There's no way you can pick. Is there a way you can pick? I wish there
What are we
would.
looking for?
Well, I'm just trying to get Delaware to pop up on the map. I'm still saying 3, but I know with some people they like to see the number.
Oh, you mean for the actual like towns and cities? No, it's automatic.
Yeah.
And it's based on population.
So let me see if I can maybe get a little bit
If you get tighter in there,
It might pick it up.
It might pick it up. So a lot of folks want to know why Parkersburg shows up instead of Marietta because the population's bigger.
That'll do it. And I know sometimes, I know I had this problem when I worked in Illinois, that it'd pick up townships that don't exist anymore.
Yeah. And we've got a few of those here in Franklin County, that the population of the township is actually bigger than the population of a nearby town or village. So it shows the township instead.
I mean, the worst of it's over near Urbana, so this would be more in like just south of Delaware. If it continues to track to the east that way. You'll still get some rain. Who's asking? Rita. Is the audio bad? You might be hearing. You might be hearing. You might be hearing our fan. Our box fan over
I'm
here.
also off mic.
Oh.
I'm across the room, so you
That
may not hear
too.
me very well.
So you said the audio is really choppy and garbly. Okay. You said the audio is really choppy and garbly. Okay. You said the audio is really choppy and garbly. Okay. Okay. Let's see if that stopped doing that. Was it because I think you know what I was doing, because I didn't release, I think, the storm track. And it did that. Storm track. And it did that. I think storm track. And it did that. I think storm static. Okay, I'm gonna mute this really quick. And then we'll try to see if this works. Is it better now? Okay, everyone's saying, okay, some people saying it's fine, and some, that fixed it? Jerry, did that fix it? Okay, cool. Perfect. Okay, I must have been doing something wrong, and it didn't, like, release it's fixed now. Okay, perfect. Some people may, at least for the majority, some people saying it's fine. You may be hearing the box fan in the background. I'm not sure how much that would make. Shouldn't. Because most of everyone's saying it's better. So I think we should.
Says it's fixed.
It's fixed? Okay, perfect. Sweet. I want to make sure y'all can hear me. So, again, still looking. If you're in Delaware, you'll definitely get the rain. We'll need to keep a close eye on how these storms kind of situate on the northern tip of this. But right now, looks like the worst of it is going to be just south of Delaware. But you'll get some rumble, thunder. You will get some rain. Looking at the time frame, that rain to start picking up here in the next 30 to 40 minutes for you. But again, Columbus, we're looking at around that really start picking up here before 3. Lots of lightning down over near Wilmington. Is there a little delay? Max has been getting, okay, it is much better, good.
Max may need a restart.
It may need a restart because it's been giving me the spinning wheel of death every so often, so it may be.
It's been a while.
It's been a while.
It's been restarted, so.
Okay, let me do another tracking of this for you. Again, just let me go to satellite, just show you the big picture. So this is their big picture. We have these storms racing through the area. The biggest concern we have with this line here is the winds. Lots of lightning, heavy rain. These are going to be moving into Columbus here in the next, I would say no more than, as we get closer to after around 2:40ish, 2:30ish, as we start seeing that rain pick up just before. at about 55 miles per hour. So again, this severe thunderstorm warning is going to last until 3. It does include Franklin, Madison, Pickaway, Union, and Delaware County. When you put another tracker on this, especially get to the worst of it. At least where we get that heavy rain. There we go. So yeah, Hilliard 232 on that projected course. Westerville 248, Circleville 3 o'clock, Granville 309, Newark 315, and then Rush Creek 326. Yep, you're good.
Quick show. Quick hit.
And once Marshall goes live, we're gonna have to be quiet, or at least I can talk. I can talk a little softer. Deb, let's see for you. What did they do to this? Did they shave off 60? I was just telling us the location of where it's at. So it's right now getting into Madison County at the moment. So London, you're getting that rain starting to pick up here. Right on time. So Fayette, you're not done yet. Where did I see that, Deb? Fayette is not in the clear. Fayette County, you still have...
It's still coming.
You still have this storm over near New Jasper. That's still... And then whoop down in Wilmington. All of this right here is going to be tracking in your area. Let me see if I get... See if this one's also tracking 55. Because that will also... This one's tracking 65. So I'm going to go middle ground and go about 60 with this. Again, this is an estimate. You should be prepared before this timestamp that shows up on this. Because if you hear thunder roar, you need to get inside. So let's see. Washington Courthouse. Again, 230. New Holland, 244. Williamsport, 249. Circleville, again, right near 3. For you. Clear Creek 304. These are all moving to the east. Yeah, Deb, you should see the dark clouds. If you look out west, you'll probably see those dark clouds. May even hear some rumbles of thunder here soon. New Jasper, there's a lot of lightning there. Over 100 lightning strikes. So the northern portion of Fayette County is under the severe thunderstorm warning. There's so many counties, unfortunately, in this polygon box that it doesn't even include Delaware or northern Fayette County.
Hey, how are you?
Good. We have a radar for a couple of weather setups. I assume weather 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yep.
do that. Thank you. Yes, thank you.
I'll have to make sure I don't... I'm not
Yeah,
on this,
The feed may have to change during the actual
which is
newscast.
fine. Marcy, at the moment, beautiful in Coshocton, yes. But you got a couple, at least another hour or so to continue to enjoy the beautiful windy weather because storms are going to be moving through the area. It looks like for the most part, some of our northern counties are not going to really see much of this. They may get some rain. But you can see all of it really is from, at least the worst of it, of those stronger storms, are from London all the way down into
There we
Wilmington.
go. Mic check, mic check, mic check. Hello, hello, hello. Thank you.
Amanda, it's dark and windy here in Milford Center. So yeah, right now London is getting these storms at the moment. Okay. Let's see, we've been doing this for an hour. I'm going to try to keep this going up until these storms kind of get into Columbus. And then kind of go from there and see how these storms kind of hold up as they move into East Ohio. So we may keep the live stream going a little while. Super windy in London, Cheryl is saying.
Cut in. Okay. What'd you say we're going at 26?
Marshall's going to be doing a cut in here soon. So I may whisper, so hopefully I'll try to keep the mic close so you can hear me.
Wilmington is saying they've got multiple reports of tree limbs and trees down, some structural damage, ponding on roadways because of the heavy rainfall and frequent lightning. Cloud to ground.
Cloud to ground lightning. Yes. So that's why it's important if you hear thunder roar to get inside. You can kind of see with some of these lightning, especially this one lightning strike, you can see it's not that far away from it, but you can see by near Mount Sterling, you have this lightning strike.
Oh, yeah.
That's somewhat ahead of these storms here. So that is possible that we could get some lightning strikes ahead. So you want to make sure that if you hear thunder roar to head inside. Already starting to get some rain again into near Grove City and Galloway. So Galloway, the rain has picked up for you, but in terms of the strong, at least the severe storm, it's right now in London's and Madison County. So yes, you're seeing rain if you live in Galloway, Lincoln Village, but at least you'll start to see that rain pick up here very soon. Let's see, what time is it? 2:23. Yeah, so in the next 10-ish minutes, you should see this start to pick up.
I may need you to handle the 3 o'clock meeting.
That's fine. What time is it? It's 2:23. Yeah, I can get upstairs.
Friends at 6:10 want a 3:05 hit.
Okay.
So depending on whether we do another one on TV, we'll figure out how that's going to go. But
Sounds good.
if you could handle the 3 o'clock meeting, placate them upstairs, that'd be great.
Sounds good. So what I'll probably do, everyone, just so that you're aware, if you heard Marshall saying, when we do, before we get into the newscast, we have these things called editorial or content strategy meetings, just to kind of let people know. At least we give a weather brief, so we tell them what the weather's going to be like, so our producers understand how to tease to the weather hits, and also let us know what reporters are doing that day, what stories they're reporting on. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep the live stream going potentially, but you won't hear anything. Marshall may still be around, but I'm going to turn the camera off and keep it on radar so that you can see radar. And then once I'm done with that meeting, I'll come back downstairs and resume the live stream, if that works, if that everyone is okay with that. Or else I don't really want to stop the live stream just in case if there's severe thunderstorm warnings that are pushing into Licking and Fairfield County. Okay, I saw one question. Amy, yes, penny-sized hailstones. So just under the severe weather limits, usually for a severe thunderstorm, typically we see quarter-sized hailstones, so that's an inch in diameter, but these are penny-sized. If you do experience hail, let me know in the comments if you are experiencing that. So if you live in London right now, Marysville, right now you are getting some moderate to heavy rain at the moment. Delaware, the rain's starting to pick up for you. Definitely let me know if you are experiencing any hail. And when you wanted to tell me what kind of hail size it is, try to avoid marble size, because I know some marbles can come in different sizes. Let's see. We haven't gotten any reports of hail at the moment, though, but right now these storms are capable of producing penny-sized hailstones. We've had reports of wind and wind damage, and then heavy rain, especially within this storm right here. Even though these storms are moving about 55 miles per hour, these could quickly cause ponding on the roadways and poor visibility when you're driving. Penny size can create some very small dents in your car, so that is possible. So it's always recommended whenever we have the chance for some hail to, put it in the garage. But it's, again, yeah, those quarter-size hailstones, that can definitely cause quite a bit of damage to your car. Let's see. So again, our severe thunderstorm warning is until 3. But again, if you live over in Galloway and Lincoln Village, you're already starting to see rain. But at least the stronger storms are starting to get closer. Marshall's doing his cut in real quick. Marshall right now is breaking into ABC6 or ABC. You'll probably watch if you're watching TV. You're probably seeing him right now. Let me make sure I'm not running out of time. Rain and thunder in Galloway. Thank you, Pamela. Yeah. Thunder in Columbus. Power is out in Mount Sterling. Oh, wow. I mean, this is the winds. The winds, this is ahead of that you experience that caused those power outages. And so expect that power outages in Mount Sterling being reported.
Oh.
Aaliyah saying that there's power outage in Mount Sterling. Elle, hey, hi Elle. You're going to Athens to pick up your daughter from college at 4 p.m. So
good luck with that.
You're going to be running, because these storms are going to be moving into that area after 3 p.m. So when you're picking her up in Athens, you may want to hang out there for a while until the storm's passed, and then you can head back to Columbus. Because once these storms move through, then you're good to go. But unfortunately, as you're driving away, the storms are going to be following you and catching up to you as you get into Athens. I'm not sure if you've left already or you're leaving now. But at least the drive there, you'll be because you're driving away from the storms, but eventually those storms will catch up to you.
And the storms are going highway speed.
Yes.
So they're gonna catch up to you.
They will catch up. So that's why, you may be fine for part of the drive, but then once you get to Athens to pick her up, you may need to hang tight for a little bit until the storms pass to head back. So we just had another severe thunderstorm warning that was issued for parts of southern Fayette County and into southern Pickaway, even into Ross County. So this is until 3:15. Still looking at wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour and penny-sized hailstones. And hailstones that size, I know some people are asking, can cause some minor damage. It's when you get really into the quarter size, that inch and diameter, which is very close to what penny size is, not too far off, only a quarter. That can cause, some damage to your car, especially if it's coming down, at a steady rate. That can cause damage. So it's always recommended when we get the chance for hail to just put it in the garage if you have one. So it looks like parts of Hilliard starting to see getting into that thunderstorm, starting to move into your area. Also Dublin, rain's ready. It's ready raining right now for you, but you'll start to see that rain pick up. Marysville, right now we have some thunderstorms moving through your area. That is going to eventually track into parts of Delaware. So I want to put another.
There we go. There's a little lightning in the studio.
There's the thunder, and I think I know where that one was at, right there. Okay, so let me put another tracker on this. Again, this severe thunderstorm warning is until 3. The one down here for southern Fayette County, southern Pickaway, and far northern Ross County, that's until 3:15. Again, these storms are moving at about 55 miles per hour. It's moving a little slower though over in Wilmington, 45. So I'm gonna do this one up here. It's back up to 60. 55 to 60 has been generally what they've been going. So we're gonna go here. And this is the very edge of it. I'm gonna track it out. Actually, let me get a bigger picture here first so we can get some of our, start to get into Muskingum County. Okay, let's get here. Drag it off to the east. Okay. Here's some more times for you all. So again, Westerville, you're already starting to get the rain, and you'll continue to experience this rain and the thunder as we get to 241. Reynoldsburg, you may get that little initial rain ahead of it here very soon, but just before 3 for you in generator.
That's us being prepared.
Yep. See, Mount Vernon, 304, Newark, 310. New Lexington, someone asked about that. Yep, 332 for you. And then Zanesville, 334. As of right now, the biggest concern within this line and band of thunderstorms is winds. We've had some reports of some tree damage and some, you said there were some power lines that were also impacted, you said? I thought you said?
Sorry.
No, you're good.
I was just reading in the process, we also have news going on today.
No, you're good. He's doing his job. I'm just making sure that.
So
let me
thunderstorm
see.
warning for no, that's south of us.
Yeah. Let's see. So in Montgomery County, 12-inch tree limb down. Another one in Montgomery County, large pine tree down. Though with pine trees, it doesn't really. They just snap.
12-inch tree limb.
Oh.
That should be substantial. That's a heck of a.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another large tree down. That's in Montgomery County. I don't see anything. I mean, these storms are just moving into the area. Vandalia, they had a wind gust of 68 miles per hour. So ahead of, again, you're going to have that outflow from these storms that are going to create some pretty gusty winds. And then the storm itself, creating some heavy rain, starting to move into the I-2, on the west side, the 270 corridor there. So the rain is going to be picking up for you, where visibility will be pretty hard to see. Poor visibility for you. Rain right now still in Delaware. It's just been moderate rain for you. You are in the severe thunderstorm warning, again, till 3.
Here comes the big rain for Columbus.
Mm-hmm. I just got to keep track of the time so I can get
So
upstairs.
we're going to do another cut-in at 3.
Okay.
And as soon as that cut-in is done, I'm going to run over and do
Radio.
radio.
Okay. Has any more data came in yet about the cap and how our sounding
No,
was?
that was the only thing they said. Hold on, let me see if they've
We're gonna
updated
check on that, Nicole, because I know that was a thing that we were watching for, is that we had a cap, and so we had those 2 different scenarios that Marshall talked about, is whether or not we break that cap, or these storms are gonna run into that cap and then weaken.
Yeah, they have not updated that.
Okay.
Both of those are right at 3 o'clock and 3:30.
Straight up.
Let's see.
Get their setup with master. What's got you set up for both of them?
Thank you.
What do they do here? So storm's now in Hilliard, moving east at 55. It keeps going back and forth between 55 and 60.
Madison County, but at the airport with a 56-mile-per-hour wind gust.
I'll do it. Mount Sterling, you're gonna start getting. You're right now dealing with the Some pretty hefty storms. Lots of lightning. Washington Courthouse is getting closer to you. So, heads up. Deb, if you're still watching, it's coming. You're probably already hearing thunder. Let's see, who else is in? Hey, Marshall.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with Scud.
Yeah. Let's see. Matt says rain in Hilliard. So Jenna, once this moves. So Jenna, once this moves out. Come on. Okay, here we go. Sorry, y'all. This system probably needs a reboot ASAP.
Yeah, it's been working hard.
It's been working quite a bit.
Look at the winds here.
Oh, wow.
These are all straight line.
Yeah, those. Yeah. So one.
Let's talk about Scud.
Oh, okay.
Let's just talk about it.
Okay, we can talk about Scud.
So, where?
Right here.
Hang on, I just saw something else down here.
Oh,
Okay,
that's
so let's talk about, because I'm seeing comments about funnel cloud. So let's be careful using that term, because you can see how it's really making people very concerned. We can see on the velocity readings right now, there's nothing out there but straight line winds, right? Can you go ahead? Can you call that up real quick? Let's just put a velocity map on there. So what a velocity map does is it shows us the direction the wind is going. And with that, we can see whether this is straight line, whether it's got some rotation to it, what direction it's actually moving. So in this case, what we're looking at here, where is my pointer? There it is. So see where this goes from like pink into a bright white, and same thing happening right here, kind of along 62 and 71. That means the wind is going really, really fast. So that's where we can get those 40, 60 mile per hour wind gusts, right? But you notice that otherwise it's all pink, it's all red. That means it's all moving in the same direction. Now, what can happen is with some downdrafts in these storms, you can get clouds that sort of pull down from the storm. And they're kind of raggedy edges and they hang down under the cloud. That's not a funnel cloud. Let me repeat that. That is not a funnel cloud. That's what we call scud. And what is that? That is stratus under cumulus. No, cumulus under. What does scud stand for? It's been forever since I've looked that up.
I know.
It's actually an acronym, and off the top of my head, I'm not remembering what it stands for. But basically, those are the little raggedy edges that are under the storm. So they may look scary, but in reality, especially when we look at this velocity picture, we can see that everything's moving in the same direction. So it's not a funnel cloud. Scud.
Stratocumulus underdeck.
Under deck, that's it.
Deck.
So the deck is that low end of the cloud, and so we get those stratocumulus, right, where they just sort of hang down underneath. So let's be really careful when we use the word funnel cloud, because you can really, really unnecessarily scare people. So let's know what we're talking about before we actually use the term funnel cloud, all right? So, Jenna, I don't know what a shear funnel is. And I don't trust Reed, so sorry.
I've never heard.
Reed's, I'm going to say this out loud, and I'm going to get in trouble for it. Reed's an irresponsible chaser. Reed's a smart guy, but I don't trust Reed.
I've never even heard.
I know that Reed has a lot of fans, and I'll get smacked for that, but there it is.
Yeah. Okay. So that's what we're looking at right now. Again, winds are definitely going to be our biggest priority for this. Will we keep a
Shear funnel? What is that?
I don't know.
I've never even heard of that. What?
I don't know what that is.
I think he made that up.
I could not even tell you what that would even. I'm not even sure. But as we digress, I mean, it's really important. It's real. No, it's good. It's a good point. It's like you need to make sure that, because I know scud clouds can be.
They can look very scary.
They can look very scary. Okay, but one thing you're not going to see in a scud cloud is rotation.
Yeah.
And that's really important. Yeah, they're low-lying hanging clouds. They're very ruggedy looking. They can be very intimidating, but they are not. They're not dangerous. It's kind of like how some people may think that a shelf cloud may be a wall cloud. That's not.
They look very.
They
scary.
look scary, right?
But it's also important to know the difference between a shelf cloud and a wall cloud.
Yes. No, you're good, Jenna. You're good, Jenna. No worries.
No, Jenna, it's not your fault.
It's not your fault.
Not your fault.
No, not at all. But it's important that, we try to set the record straight, and we don't want people getting, misinformation. We don't want people getting scared over unnecessary things that are not real, right? So we want to make sure that people.
I'm gonna pop upstairs real quick.
You're good.
I'll be right back.
Sounds good. But no, you are good. Let's see. But yeah, right now we are dealing with quite a bit of rain here in Columbus. Again, the initial part of this line that was severe is now moving into, let's see, let me get zoom in a little closer. So it's passing through Dublin at the moment, Upper Arlington, Grove City. Starting to get into Westerville. Reynoldsburg, you're dealing with a decent storm. I shouldn't say cell, because that's what our jargon is cell. But a storm moving through your area, but you still have another batch behind that was initially why this severe thunderstorm warning was issued. So again, we have Franklin, Madison. Let me take off radar real quick so I can kind of see these counties real fast. So Union County is starting to get that warning out of the area. So we have Delaware, Franklin, parts of Madison, at least eastern Madison County, Fayette County, Ross, and Pickaway County still under this severe thunderstorm warning. Still have quite a bit of lightning within it, some heavy rain, so that's something that you're going to have to contend with, is going to be those downpours, and those downpours can reduce visibility pretty quickly, especially the one down in Washington Courthouse. This one is coming down pretty hard for you. Lots of lightning falling just outside of Washington Courthouse. So within those heavier downpours, don't be shocked to see some quick ponding on the roadways. But it's within these heavier bursts of rain. So like Mount Sterling, you're probably already starting to see some ponding there because it's been raining for a little bit for you. But we're starting to get the line is starting to catch up with that initial storm there that was over in Reynoldsburg. Okay, let me see. I'm try to answer as many questions as I can. Try to answer again some more people. Yeah, Deb, it's here now. Yep, you're right now dealing with the brunt of it. So let me go down because parts of Fayette County and southern Pickaway and Ross County are under a severe thunderstorm warning. You're gonna be under the severe thunderstorm warning until 3:15. And then the one here for Columbus, for northern Pickaway County, it's starting to get out of London, and then up in Delaware, this is until 3. So if you live in Licking County, you're starting to get some of that activity moving into your area. But at the moment, we're waiting to see if they're going to extend that severe thunderstorm warning into Licking or Fairfield County. So right now, the bulk of the activity is on that I-71 corridor. At the moment, Circleville you still got a little bit of time before it gets to you, at least 15 to 20 minutes until the storms get to your area. So closer to around 3 is where we're expecting these storms to move into Circleville. You are under a severe thunderstorm warning, so the concern for you in Circleville is going to be for gusty winds up to 60 miles per hour and also penny-sized hailstones, which is under 1 inch in diameter. That could cause some minor damage on cars. And then, let's see. Jerry, he made a very good point, Sarah, being a sky-worn spotter. I have explained that many times, yes. Yeah, I've had times where people have sent me pictures of scud clouds, and I have to explain. I'm like, no, it's not scud. It's not a funnel cloud, it's scud. So, Let's see. So Nicole, so once these storms move out, we got a break. We still have our cold front out west. That's going to start catching up here later this evening. Could try to trigger a few spotty showers, but again, the strongest storms are from now until 7 p.m. for that severe thunderstorm watch. So that severe thunderstorm watch includes pretty much most of our viewing area. It does not include Crawford, Wyandotte, and Hardin County. And so those are the counties that are not under the severe thunderstorm watch. Everyone else is until 7 p.m. tonight as this line of thunderstorms races through the area. Oh, it's going to freeze on me. There we go. So this is what we're keeping an eye on. Again, the biggest thing we've seen so far within this line is those strong winds. Mallory says winds and rain picking up in northern Pickaway County. Deb, do you see a hail core in Fayette County? Just a lot of heavy rain. Let me see if there's any hail being tracked on here. Let me find, where's my hail? Oh, they just expanded the severe thunderstorm warning into Licking and Fairfield County. But let me quickly track and see if there's any. No, I don't see any hail being shown up on radar. Let me actually pull off these warnings real quick. No, I don't see anything. And I haven't seen any reports of hail. So we now have a severe thunderstorm warning that was just expanded out into parts of Fairfield, Licking, and the very small little little part of Pickaway County near Laurelville. So this severe thunderstorm warning is until 3:45 p.m. 3:45. Still looking at gusty winds up to 60 miles per hour, hailstones up to penny size. Right now, we have these storms just outside of Utica, Johnstown, and Pataskala. Pickerington also dealing with some hefty storms. But we're starting to see the southern portion of this line move into Pickaway County, Washington Courthouse. You're still dealing with those hefty storms, lots of lightning, heavy rain for you. Delaware, right now, you're just dealing with some moderate to heavy rain, some rumbles of thunder, especially over near Sunbury. And also some gusty winds. Marysville still have some remnant lightning, some rumbles of thunder, but the rain is going to linger for a little bit, and then eventually it'll start tapering down here soon. Because once this moves out, we'll have a break. Yes, Cindy, it's coming down pretty hard for you. Again, you're still under the severe thunderstorm warning until 3:15. Kelly, the rain should cool us down a bit, and we're expecting our cold front to slide through, and that's going to bring us some cooler weather for tomorrow. So let's see. Here's tower camera. You can see that rain falling. It's 75. We started things off just before the storms came in, right around 80 degrees. I'm trying to see, what's that? Oh, I see some hail. I see some hail on our tower camera. Did you see that, everyone? I don't know if you saw. There was like little. Yeah, you see that? There should be some hail. That looks like hail. Do you see those little balls? Those little white balls that are popping there on there? Yeah. Ooh. But it's small. They're like small hail. I don't want to leave you all because I want to go and check and see if it's hailing right now, if it's actually getting to the surface. Okay, everyone, I'm going to check real quick. I'm going to go outside the studio and see, but I can see them on our tower camera. I don't know if y'all can see that. If you look closely, I know some of you might be on your phone, but you can kind of see in the small corner here where it says Meteorologist Sarah Converse, there you can see some hail falling there. Let me go outside and see. I'll be right back, everyone, okay? So again, we do have severe thunderstorm warnings that still remain in Columbus here for the next 10 minutes. Then that's going to move over into, right now, Licking and Fairfield County that are under that. So I'm going to go check and see if I can see some of the hail outside our studio. Be right back, everyone. I'm going to mute this mic, and I'll be... I'm back. I'm not seeing any hail. It must be way too small. By the time it gets to this, it's probably falling apart and melting. Because I don't see it anymore. I don't see it outside. It's just rain. Let me see. I thought I saw something new, or at least someone asked a question. Never mind. Okay. Okay, let's do another tracking of this line here. Let's do the first part of it here on the top, and then we'll get to the bottom portion of this line.
You wearing an IFB?
No.
I'm looking for IFB too.
Oh, that Marshall may have it on him.
Gotcha.
Because he did a cut-in at... Oh, there he is.
Oh, there he is. Hi.
Do you need me to still go up...
I am wearing everything.
Do you still need me to go upstairs to do the weather meeting?
No, I just took care of it.
Okay, perfect.
Took care of it. We changed it for battery.
Where did I thought I saw someone? Oh yeah, for Chillicothe. Chillicothe, you still have a little while for you. It's gonna be, you know, closer to a little after 3. So you still got another 23 minutes before this end of the line, which I'm gonna start tracking this out for you too. So let me first get the new severe thunderstorm warnings that were just issued for Licking and Fairfield County. Let me make sure to see what these speeds are. Still looking at 55. So we're gonna go 55 for this. 55. Again, it's kind of raggedy ahead of this, so I'm just gonna do kind of a, as best as I can, track of this for you all. Again, this is all moving to the east, about 55 miles per hour. So, on that projected course, it should get into Granville very soon. If not, I mean, you're already starting to see some of the rain at the moment. Newark, again, 3. Lancaster, 314. And then Hopewell, 320. Zanesville, 330. 340 for New Lexington. And then Cambridge, it should get to you closer to, as we get closer to 4. So 352 for you. I'm actually going to grab my sweater because I'm kind of getting cold with this fan. Okay, let me get my sweater on. I am chilly with this box fan on. Oh no, your cat's frightened. I know pets can definitely, with this stuff, can get really scared of this. I'm really thankful that my cat Celine is not really scared of storms, but oh, I'm sorry, Pamela. Let's see. Tony, I live on Bethel Road near Sawmill Road. A big quick storm just went through. Wind sideways, rain, huge thunder, lightning. It's gone now. Yeah, so these storms are moving pretty fast through the area. They're moving at 55 miles per hour. So what the biggest concern that we have within this line is going to be those gusty winds. Those winds are really going to start picking up, especially even ahead of the storm with the outflow. And then the rain, the heavy rain within this line, lots of lightning too. So we're looking at that. I know some people were asking about the threat for any rotations. So far, the good news is we have not been seeing anything of rotation along this line. Everything has been winds. So let me pull up velocity, kind of show you what we kind of look at that. So here is velocity, and velocity is a fancy way of how we see what winds, what direction the winds are blowing, and also the speed. So when we see, especially you can see down here, down in Wilmington, you have the green and the reds. So the green is going toward the radar site. In this case, would be Wilmington. Red is going away from the radar site. And so when we have the chance for a rotation, we look at greens and reds usually close together, and that shows that rotation happening, right? In this case, we're seeing all one color, especially in Columbus, but very bright colors. And that's indicating those strong winds within this cluster and band of showers and thunderstorms. So, good news is we're not seeing rotation. Still, though, those winds can cause quite a bit of damage. We've had some reports out in Montgomery County of tree damage and whatnot. We had a couple people saying that they had power outages out in, I believe it was Mount Sterling, someone said. So this is what right now we're most concerned about. There could be some hail embedded with some of these storms. I mean, it looked like hail coming off of our tower camera. I saw it bouncing, but it was probably so small that by the time it got down closer to the surface, because again, remember, our tower camera is super high up. By the time it probably got to the surface, it did not, it kind of fell apart. So some small hail possible, again, under 1/4 of an inch. Right now, they're just pushing it to penny size. Aw, oh kitty. Day says, just gave my dogs peaceful pup essential oil to help them calm during the storms. That's good. Andrew in the city of Delaware, wind and thunder, just add water. Yep. So right now you're just dealing with quite a bit of lightning, rain, but the worst of it is moving out of Delaware. So right now the severe thunderstorm warning is, let's move into places like Utica. Ooh, Utica's starting to get a little bit, looks like we're starting to get a few little blimps of hail, some small hail. So this little gray blob you see here, that's possible hail embedded. So near Utica and then just between Johnstown and Pataskala. So that would be just to the west of Granville. Etna also getting some heavy rain, Pickerington, heavy rain, Asheville, Darbyville, Williamsport, Circleville, start getting ready. This is going to get into your area very soon. New Holland is getting on that action. And then Chillicothe, you still got a bit of time. But I like that this is not filled in, so you might miss out on the heavy stuff. But northern Ross County is under this severe thunderstorm warning. Marshall, sorry I'm whispering because Marshall's doing a cut-in right now. But Fayette, southern Fayette, Pickaway, and Ross County remain under this warning until 3:15. So another 15 minutes. And then for Columbus, let's see, did we get out of it? Looks like, yeah, Columbus, they took us out. Let me make sure. Yeah, Columbus, we're now no longer in the severe thunderstorm warning. We still have some rain in the area and some rumbles of thunder, but now the severe thunderstorm warning is for, it looks like they expanded it. So Knox County is now under the warning. So Knox CWA, and CWA is county warned area, and we're kind of broken apart in different National Weather Service stations. So Knox is under Cleveland, and they just issued one. So Knox County is now under severe thunderstorm warning. So Mount Vernon, Danville, just to the north of Utica, that's until 3:45 p.m. Looking at quarter-size hailstones and wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour. And that line continues down into Utica, Alexandria, just out near Grandview, where Beechwood Trails near Grandview, its radar is trying to indicate possibly some hail there. And then Pickerington, we have some thunderstorms there. Asheville, Williamsport, and then got a little bit of a break here near New Holland and Hillsborough. So hopefully we can continue to see these storms kind of fall apart as they get into Chillicothe. But we still got a little bit of time in Chillicothe before it gets to you. It looks like Perry County just got extended into the area, so Perry is now under the severe thunderstorm warning ahead of this line until 3:30 p.m. Hail, not too big of an issue, small, under penny size, and then 60 mile per hour wind gusts. This is moving east at 65. And this one did the wind speeds 60. So I'm just gonna go with 60 at the moment here and get this line as it moves into Thornville next. Oh wait, did I maybe make sure my thing is right? What did I wanted to push it up to 60, right? Oh, yeah. I need to move this up to 60, I forgot. Oh, yeah. I need to move this up to 60, I forgot. Oh, yeah. I need to move this up to 60, I forgot. Oh, yeah. I forgot. Okay, I think we got it. Okay, sorry y'all, I had the spinning wheel of death for a moment there. Hopefully the audio is not bad. I'm gonna mute it, unmute it just in case. Denise, vivid lightning and pouring rain in Grove City. Yes, so still a lot of lightning near you. Okay, so here's a kind of an estimate time frame for these storms as they move into our eastern counties. So Lancaster will be around 3:19, Zanesville 3:30, West Lafayette 3:36, New Lexington 3:41, Cambridge 3:49, and then Barnesville, that's getting a little bit further out, that's 4:13 for you. Yeah, so Chastity, the good news is we're starting to see, you still have quite a bit of lightning in Washington Courthouse. The good news is that you'll start to see that rain lighten up here very soon as these storms move out. Donna says, yep, storms starting to get the rain, dark skies in Circleville. And then Cody, yep, so it's getting into your area here very soon, next few minutes. If not, pretty much it's right on top of you. So there's that. So it's getting into Newark right now. Right now it's in Grandview. Circleville, you'll start experiencing that here very soon too. All right, let me get down here. There's Chillicothe. Now Chillicothe is now under a severe thunderstorm warning. Let me see if yes, that's right. So it's 3:45. 3:45 for that. Let me get some more information on this severe thunderstorm warning. Penny-sized hailstones, east 55. So we're gonna go 55. So we're gonna go 55. So we're gonna go 55. It's frozen on me again. Okay, I don't know why my system is giving me a hard time with... Let me redo that. When it comes to drawing on and timing this out, the system here is giving me a hard time. Okay, so Chillicothe just before 3:30 for you. 3:30. Yeah, Lancaster, if you look out to your west and northwest, yes. It's definitely going to start picking up for you soon. Madison. So the good news is once this moves out, good news is once this moves out, good news is once this moves out, good news is this, okay. 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 My weather system is really trying to catch a terrible frame to freeze on. It's really trying to get me on this Tuesday. Alright, so, on this Tuesday. Alright, getting to catch, on this Tuesday. Alright, getting to catch, on this Tuesday. Alright, just give me, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, everyone. I probably am going to have to end this live stream if this continues to freeze up on me, because that's like the third, fourth time that this has froze up on me. Yeah. So I'm gonna try to go for a little bit while longer on this live stream because it is freezing up way too much. But I'm going to try to stay on here as long as I can for this because, oh, there we go. So Coshocton is now under a severe thunderstorm warning. If I can get it to populate that for me. There we go. Coshocton and Muskingum County. Coshocton and Muskingum County, you're now under the severe thunderstorm warning until 4 p.m. They have actually labeled it as considerable damage. So that means wind speeds have now increased to 70 miles per hour. So anticipate tree damage with those winds. Possibly some power outages. Moving east at 55 miles per hour. Still 60, but anticipate those winds to maybe pick up, especially as it passes through Newark and then into Frazeysburg. Columbus, we're still dealing with some lingering rain, some rumbles of thunder, but the worst of it is over. So the worst of it is over for Marysville and Delaware, but we're still dealing with some rain. We're still dealing with some rumbles of thunder. Again, the worst of it at the moment, those severe thunderstorms, are right now through Mount Vernon, Utica, Newark, into Baltimore, just outside of Lancaster, Circleville, and then down into Hillsborough and South Salem. Right now, the biggest concern is winds. Winds are going to be the primary threat with these storms as they move to the east. They've been ranging from 55 to even upwards of 60 miles per hour to the east. So they are moving fairly quickly. Now, Madison asked, whether or not there are going to be any storms after this line moves through. Any stronger storms will be wrapping up here very soon in terms of this initial line. This is where the bulk of that severe weather threat is. So that's severe thunderstorm watch until 7 p.m. tonight. The cold front is still located out west. Now I'm not ruling out possibly a shower or two that may form as the front moves in. But the good news is a lot of this rain, these storms, are going to be soaking up some of that energy we've had built up in the day. So this is what's going to help eat up some of that. So anything that occurs with the cold front should stay below severe weather limits if anything does form. So once these storms move out, we're starting to get in the clear of things. Okay, so that's the good news for you, Madison. Because right now, let me see, and again, apologize if it freezes up on me again. The only thing that I can see that we'll have to just watch for, potentially, that may clip some of our southern counties, is all this activity in put another tracker on this. Again, these storms are now capable of producing wind gusts up to 60 to 70 miles per hour. They are moving to the east at 55 miles per hour. So let me put another tracker on this. Hopefully my computer doesn't freeze up on me. Again, this is an estimate time frame for you guys. So again, Lancaster here very soon in the next couple minutes. Zanesville closer to the 3:30 p.m. time frame. Actually, I'm just gonna push this back just a little bit more. Actually, try to get as much as I can of the leading edge of this. Oop! I messed that up. Okay, I didn't release the clicker. Okay. There we go. That's a better drop. So yeah. So again, Zanesville closer to around the 3:30 p.m. time frame. New Lexington 3:41. Cambridge just before 4. McConnellsville 4:07, and then Caldwell is going to be 4:21. So lots of lightning right now moving through Licking County. So you have lots of thunder for you in Licking County, and all that heavy rain that's now moving into Baltimore and parts of Fairfield County, into Circleville. You're dealing with a lot of lightning there. So again, winds are going to be our biggest concern. Again, Fairfield, Licking, Pickaway County, this severe thunderstorm warning is going to last until 3:45 p.m. Gusts up to 60, and then hailstones up to penny size. I thought I saw, Kay, you were saying that you had some hail. Angie, let me check that for you. Because everything that we've been seeing at the moment has been just winds. And they were saying, where were they saying this? Near Etna? There's Utica and there's Etna. No, not at all. I do not see any rotation near Etna. No, this is all gusty winds. No. I don't see any rotation in Etna, Angie. Because what we look for rotation is we look for the greens and reds. The greens and reds. And sometimes some grays. When you see those different colors, that was what raises the eyebrow. While all of this is pink, all of this is red, that's all symbolizing that these storms are moving, the winds are blowing in the same direction. But you can note that it's very, very bright pinks. That is very strong winds within this line. That is why the National Weather Service, as it is moving now into parts of Coshocton and Muskingum County, they've actually increased the wind threshold to 70 miles per hour. So I am not seeing, I don't know where they're saying the rotation is. I don't see it at all. I do not see any rotation. And even as I put in, again, Cleveland is kind of far out there. Even then, I don't see anything on here either. So now we have not been seeing, when Marshall's been here, we've been watching this stuff, we have not been seeing any rotation along this line. It all has been very gusty winds. We were, okay, let's see. Can you not hear me now? This is what happens when technology works, it's great, but when it doesn't, it's frustrating. Okay, can you guys hear me? I moved the mic a little bit closer to me. And I feel like I'm talking fairly loud too. Cambridge. So in Cambridge, you're not under a severe thunderstorm warning, but anticipate that this could potentially move into your area. This has now pushed, especially in Muskingum and Coshocton, they've increased the wind speeds to wind gusts up to 70 miles per hour. And that's until 4. So expect these thunderstorms to roll in. Be ready by 4 p.m. for these storms to roll into your area, into Cambridge. You can hear now, Debbie? Okay, perfect. So again, the worst of it right now is just outside of Mount Vernon, over near Newcastle, down into Newark, where we do have some reports of possibly some small hail embedded there. Down into Baltimore, just outside of Lancaster, but you'll start to see that rain pick up here very soon. If not already, you're definitely going to hear rumbles of thunder. And then Circleville still have some moderate rain, some rumbles of thunder. You're still under the severe thunderstorm warning until 3:45 p.m. And then Ross County, you're anticipating this to come in another 20 more minutes with this thunderstorm here in South Salem. Again, Highland, Pickaway, and Ross County. This is until 3:45 p.m. This, I believe, the last I checked, is moving slower than the others, 55. So slightly slower, not by much. I'm going to put another tracker on this line up here as it moves into Coshocton and Muskingum County. Oh, did they pull out some stuff? So Perry's still there. Okay, we need to do 55. Pushing that off to the east. Okay. So Newcomerstown, 350, Cambridge, again just near the 4 o'clock hour. And then Caldwell, 420. Debbie, you're welcome. And then Jessica, yep, Lancaster, you should be seeing that start to pick up for you. Heavy rain. Heavy rain will be possible for you in Lancaster. Some rumbles of thunder. Coshocton, yeah, Coshocton, you still got some time before it gets to you. I don't know why. Let me get closer to Coshocton and see if I can get a time frame there, but it should get to you here next 30 minutes, no less. No more than 30 minutes. And this is a rough, there you go, 3:30, yeah.
John's audio went weird again.
Yeah, they were telling me that the audio was weird again. That it was like really soft. And I'm like, I feel like I'm like projecting. So, hello, still on the live stream. Just letting you know.
I'll behave then, I promise.
Lunch?
Looks delicious.
It occurred to me a few minutes ago I hadn't eaten since yesterday. I'm like, I should probably eat something.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Tom, I'm glad that most people are hearing me now. But
We're
this
planning cuttings every
system,
half hour.
this system
So
definitely
we'll do
needs a
3:30,
reboot.
4 and 4:30.
John, windy and dark
did
here
2 and
at
2:30
Licking
already.
Valley
2,
Elementary
2:30
School.
and 3. Just did an extra hit for radio. They wanted a live
Is it
hit.
still?
So far it's all straight line.
I'm still looking at like 8 o'clock as like the wrap up.
I think so. Most of this by then. So it's all happening on shift. It's fantastic. Overnight.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
So it looks like there's like a second round in Indianapolis right now.
Possibly.
We have-
What's off to the west, that's where the cold front itself actually.
So I was telling them, we just need to keep an eye just to see how this tracks
Yeah.
through the area.
So
No one wants to see me.
the
No, you're
front,
good.
the front itself is still
Yeah.
out here. That little line right there. So
It looks like, it looks like stuff's trying to
pop there.
Pop there.
The good news is that it looks like what's coming through now is, in fact, let's look at that real quick.
Oh
It
yeah,
looks
let's look
like
at the.
It's sapping most of the energy. So
We're checking to see our soundings in the atmosphere. The mesoscales.
there's the front.
Yeah, it's fun stuff.
So the front itself is still coming through Indianapolis.
This is the front.
right here.
You see that
Oh,
dip?
I see
Yeah,
This little
the
dip
valley.
right here.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it right there. And you can see where the wind changes direction around it. So that's the actual front. So this is actually sapping some of the energy from where we are. Yeah, that's down to 500 right behind it.
Wow.
It just boom.
Gone.
Let's look at this one. So back here is what we'll watch. So the front
Yeah.
itself is kind of right through there. Ahead of this is very unstable.
Because it looked like they were actually seeing some sun in Indy again.
So this is
Optimism
yeah.
is going away.
this is not fun.
So
That-
this is
that
what
sunshine.
this right here is what we're talking
not
about
helpful.
for anyone who's
This is
wondering.
fascinating. Look, see what's happening here.
So
You
our
see the
front
little
is right
details
around
there?
here, and we're gonna have
Those
to
are the
keep an eye on
actual
for anything that tries to
updrafts of the
develop.
storm, where it kind of goes all the way up and sort of
later
pokes
this
out of the top
evening.
of the cloud and creates those little bumps that you see there. So those are our storms, but this clearing,
So this is something we'll need to
not
keep.
helpful.
We need to keep an eye on.
This is sapping some of the energy.
This is good.
If this stays clear and rolls in here, it may give us a chance to redevelop more of this.
And that would be again back in that closer to that 8 o'clock time frame.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll have an active radar through the early newscasts, and
Okay.
then I think
Coming
that
down hard in
probably-
Lancaster, yeah. So you're gonna
By
get
the time we
lots
get to 10 and
of
11,
heavy
we
rain.
might have some left in our eastern VMA, but we're mostly done.
Okay.
The metro should be done by then.
Okay.
These are moving 60 miles an hour. So,
So
this is highway
it's
speed
really
coming
gonna
through here.
all depend
So as it
how
comes by,
these storms.
it's
I don't know what is going on with this audio. It keeps there's points where it's really staticky and terrible, and then other times they can hear me, and then other times it's like super soft and just not good.
I was willing to bet
They-
we need to restart the
Yeah,
machine.
I mean I've been doing this live stream for 2 hours, so the
Yeah.
system's probably like,
Yeah,
I need a
it's-
break.
It's gasping for
Yeah.
memory
Okay.
right now.
Why don't let's just cut it.
yep, okay, I'll wrap things up here.
Okay. And then did I hear you saying it's kind of starting to?
We're gonna get a bit of
We're going to get a lull,
yeah.
and then it's questionable whether more will pop up. It
Okay.
may, if it has enough energy left.
Okay.
If it doesn't, we're good.
Okay.
But we may get another round later. The front itself is still way off to our west,
Yeah.
so we're still.
All right. Yeah. Let's cut it, and if we are able to reboot, if you want to audio, we may be back later if it pops back up.
So to reboot, why don't we wait until after the 3:30? Thank you.
Yeah.
We'll wait until after the 3:30 cut-in because you need to restart the whole thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So as soon as we get done with the cut-in, then we can start rebooting machines.
Okay.
Y'all are getting
There
behind
are
the scenes.
6 machines to reboot, and they have to be done in a very specific order.
Okay.
Otherwise, they don't communicate with each other when they come back up.
Copy that.
So it takes a few minutes.
Okay. Yeah. Let's take it on down. And
Okay,
turn
I'll
it
do
off.
some finishing thoughts, everyone, and then we're wrapping up this live stream because it's
Thanks.
been.
Hey, did you get in trouble like you said you were going to?
I'm sure I will hear about it later. I'm sure I will.
Because it's kind of frustrating when people are trying to hear important information and you can't hear anything because they're static or it's super, super soft. So this is what the current state is. Our cold front's still located out west. We have our first round of storms moving through the area. What's questionable is what's behind it. This cold front's still located out the west. We're not ruling out anything redeveloping with that cold front. We don't like that there's sun in Indianapolis. They're seeing a bit of a break in the cloud cover. And then we also have these storms out here in southern Illinois too that I mentioned. So,
Thank you.
we're gonna have to keep an eye on this. Again, our severe thunderstorm watch is until 7 p.m. tonight. So we'll still need to stay weather aware as the evening goes on. Until they get rid of that severe thunderstorm watch, we still have the possibility for some stronger storms. But at least we're going to get a lull in the activity. So if you have to do anything later on in the next few hours, once these storms move out, you will be okay. But again, we're going to have to keep an eye on anything igniting to our west with the cold front.
All right, we'll do.
So really quickly, what's left? What severe thunderstorm warnings are still around? So Columbus, we still have some rain. We've had some rumbles of thunder, but the bulk of the rain now and storms are moving into Coshocton. So Coshocton, you're under that severe thunderstorm warning, and Muskingum County until 4 p.m. tonight. It is labeled as considerable due to wind gusts up to 70 miles per hour. Also, radar trying to pick up on some little small pockets of hail, so some hail may be embedded in that, penny size. That eventually works its way down into Buckeye Lake, into Thornville, and Lancaster. Right now, Lancaster, you are dealing with some heavy-duty rain, some lightning around there too. Thornville, also very heavy rain. So that's starting to creep into Perry County. Perry County, you're under that severe thunderstorm warning until 3:30 p.m. So here in the next few more minutes. Though they could expand that further into Perry County. Fairfield County, so Fairfield, Licking, and Pickaway County. Pickaway County, the brunt of it's pretty much out of Pickaway. It's just some lingering rain in Circleville. But it's Fairfield and Licking till 3:45 p.m. for you. And then for Ross County, this one is until 3:45 p.m. So with the exception of Coshocton and Zanesville, all the other line of those storms are capable of producing wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour. That has been our biggest concern.
Franklin County's got 9,000 people without power.
We have some power outages. Looks like, especially in Madison County, has some power outages.
1,600 there.
Fayette County, and then
150.
Delaware is another one up there too.
5,000.
5,000. So we have some power outages out there because of these winds. I'm going to be wrapping up this live stream here now. Again, we are severe thunderstorm watch. Will continue until 7 p.m. tonight. We still have some severe thunderstorm warnings from Coshocton down through Lancaster and into Chillicothe. So we want to stay weather aware, because once these storms move out, we'll have a bit of a lull, and then we're watching for the cold front. And for some storms out in southern Illinois, we'll have to keep an eye on that and see how the atmosphere plays out in terms of these storms. Does it suck up much of the energy? There is some instability behind there because some areas have seeing some sun. It's 64. We've cooled down quite a bit from the rain. But it's still very muggy outside. This is adding quite a bit of moisture, all this rain that we've received. So that's something that we'll need to keep an eye on. Again, making sure that you have our Ohio weather app. I'm going to get to that here. There it is. So make sure you download that. You can get the latest updates on your phone. I will try to be posting on social media too on my Facebook page. That is meteorologist Sarah Converse. Thanks all for hanging on for the ride as we keep you prepared and time out these storms. We've been doing this for 2 hours. But we're going to wrap things up because my computer is starting to lag and it needs not a nap, but it needs a little
reboot.
A little reboot, a little break, just so that if we need to do a live stream later on today, we can do that, and hopefully we won't have any audio issues. So thanks again, everyone, for tuning in. Again, if you live in East Ohio, stay weather aware. Strong storms moving in, gusty winds, and then keeping an eye out west for any more activity they may try to fire up later on today. But of course, we'll keep you updated on social media and on air. Marshall's actually going to do a cut-in here in the next few seconds. So thanks, everyone, for tuning in, and we will talk to you soon with any more updates for